Hi, I'm Melissa. Before I dive into this crazy, heart-pounding story, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, you do not want to miss this wild ride. Now, let me give you a little background about me. I'm a 38-year-old single mom, working as hard as I can as a paralegal to give my daughter, Allison, the best life possible. It's just been the two of us ever since my ex, Jack, decided fatherhood wasn't for him when Allison was just 5. Fast forward to now, Allison's 17 and, let me tell you, she is the light of my life. Smart, kind, beautiful inside and out. When she told me about prom, my heart soared. "Mom, Tyler asked me to prom," she squealed after school one day. I couldn't help it. I hugged her tight and said, "That's amazing, sweetie. We need to find you the perfect dress." Little did I know, that dress would cause more drama than I could ever imagine. Here's the thing, there's a catch to our little family. My ex-mother-in-law, Barbara, and my ex-sister-in-law, Karen, are still very much a part of our lives. Don't ask me why, trust me, it's complicated. Let's just say, they're about as pleasant as a root canal without anesthesia. So when Allison mentioned prom at our monthly family dinner, you should have seen their faces. Barbara pursed her lips. "Prom? Isn't that a bit frivolous?" And Karen, chimed in, "Yeah, shouldn't you be focusing on college applications?" I bit my tongue, holding back the urge to fire back. But Allison, bless her heart, stood her ground. "I can do both, Aunt Karen," she said. The tension in the air was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. And Barbara's infamous meatloaf? Well, it had nothing on the awkwardness of that moment. A little while later, Allison and I went dress shopping, and she found this stunning blue gown. Her eyes lit up, and she said, "Mom, it's perfect." When I checked the price tag, I winced. It was steep. But seeing Allison's face, I knew it was worth every penny. "You're going to be the belle of the ball, sweetie," I said, swiping my credit card without hesitation. We showed Barbara and Karen the dress, and their reactions? Well, let's just say they were interesting. Barbara sniffed, "It's a bit revealing, don't you think?" And Karen added, "That color, it's not really your best, Allison." I saw Allison's face fall, and I felt my blood start to boil. I had to stand up for her, for us. "I think she looks beautiful," I said, my voice firm, almost shaking with anger. Over the next few weeks, Allison was all about prom prep. She and her friends were constantly chatting about corsages, limos, after parties, but every time Barbara or Karen were around, they'd make these little digs. "You're not wearing heels, are you? You'll tower over poor Tyler," Karen would say. "And Barbara?" She'd chime in with, "I hope you're not planning on staying out too late. It's not LA, after all." I tried my best to shield Allison from their negativity, but I could see it was starting to get to her. The night before prom, Allison was a bundle of nerves and excitement. We were doing last-minute prep, nails, hair, the works. "Mom, what if something goes wrong?" she fretted. I squeezed her hand, looking into her eyes. "Nothing's going to go wrong. Tomorrow's going to be perfect." As I hung up Allison's dress, making sure it was wrinkle-free for the big day, I had no idea that a storm was about to hit. And boy, when it did, it came out of nowhere. I needed to run to the store for some last-minute items, hairspray, bobby pins, you know the drill. Barbara and Karen offered to come over and help Allison with some final preparations. "That's nice of you," I said, surprised by their sudden enthusiasm. As I left, I saw them heading upstairs with Allison. I should have trusted my gut that something was off, but I pushed it aside, wanting to believe they were finally coming around. Little did I know, that decision would lead to a night I'd never forget, and not in a good way. I rushed back from the store, eager to surprise Allison with her favorite snacks for our prom prep night. But when I pulled into the driveway, I noticed Barbara and Karen's cars were still there. Weird, I thought. They should have been gone by now. I quietly entered the house, hearing hushed voices. Was that Scissors? My heart started racing. I crept up the stairs, each step echoing in the silence, and then I pushed open Allison's bedroom door. There they were. Barbara and Karen, scissors in hand, surrounded by blue fabric scraps. And there it was, the prom dress. Ruined. Lying in tatters on the bed. What the hell are you doing? I screamed, dropping the shopping bags. Barbara and Karen spun around, their faces pale, shocked at being caught. And Melissa, we were just, Karen stammered. Just what? I yelled, my voice trembling with rage. Destroying my daughter's dress? Have you lost your minds? Barbara stepped forward, her chin raised defiantly. We're doing what's best for Allison. That dress was inappropriate. Inappropriate? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It's a prom dress, not a stripper outfit. Karen tried to justify it. We were just trying to protect her reputation. You wouldn't understand. Suddenly, everything clicked. All the snide comments about my parenting. The accidental spills on Allison's favorite clothes. The times they conveniently forgot to pick her up from school. It all made sense now. You've always been jealous, I realized aloud, my voice sharp. You can't stand to see Allison happy. Barbara scoffed, rolling her eyes. Don't be ridiculous. We love Allison. Love? I shot back. This isn't love. This is control and manipulation. Just then, I heard a gasp from the doorway. It was Allison. And the look on her face. I'll never forget it. Allison stood there, frozen, her eyes wide with horror. She was staring at the mess in front of her, the devastation unfolding right before her. My dress, she whispered, her voice breaking as tears welled up in her eyes. I rushed to her side, pulling her into a tight hug, my heart shattering for her. Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry, I whispered, holding her close as she broke down sobbing. Why would they do this? Grandma? Aunt Karen? How could you? Barbara, standing there with an air of false innocence, had the audacity to look offended. We were trying to help, dear. That dress was much too revealing. Get out, I growled, my voice low and dangerous, the fury boiling inside me. Get out of my house. Right. Now. Karen tried to protest, her voice trembling, but we were just. Out! I roared, pointing toward the door. The two of them scrambled, practically running out of my house, and I slammed the door behind them. Turning back to Allison, I saw her face crumple in pain. What am I going to do, Mom? Prom's tomorrow, and my dress is ruined. She looked up at me, her eyes filled with desperation, and my heart ached. How could anyone do this to her? I pulled her in closer, my mind racing. How could I fix this? The dress shops were closed by now. We'll figure something out, sweetie. I promise. My voice was calm, but inside, panic was threatening to take over. I knew one thing for sure, Barbara and Karen were going to pay for this. They had finally crossed a line, and it was time for them to face the consequences of their actions. But first, I had a prom dress to magically produce in less than 24 hours. Talk about a mother's worst nightmare. As Allison finally drifted off to sleep, exhausted from the tears and the emotional roller coaster, I sat at the kitchen table, my thoughts swirling. This wasn't just about a ruined dress anymore. Oh no, this was about years of manipulation, cruelty, and emotional damage. They had crossed every line there was, and now it was time to make them answer for it. I picked up my phone and dialed Jack. We need to talk. It's about Allison. 30 minutes later, Jack was standing at my door, his expression clouded with concern. What's going on, Melissa? I filled him in on everything, and his face darkened with each passing word. I can't believe my own mother and sister would do this, he said, shaking his head in disbelief. Believe it, I replied, my voice steady despite the fury bubbling inside me. And it's not just this. Remember when Allison didn't get invited to Karen's kid's birthday party? Or when Barbara spilled wine on her graduation dress? Jack's eyes widened, the pieces starting to fit together. You think those were intentional? I know they were. And we're going to prove it. The next few hours were a blur of calls, texts, and piecing together the scattered fragments of Barbara and Karen's toxic behavior over the years. The stories came pouring in from friends and family. My friend Lisa chimed in, remember when Barbara told everyone Allison cheated on that math test? I knew that wasn't true. Jack's cousin Tom added, Karen once told me Allison was spreading rumors about my daughter. I should have known better than to believe her. By morning, we had a long list of incidents. The pieces were falling into place. It was time to bring out the big guns. I called up Sarah, my old college roommate who'd become a sharp lawyer. Sarah, I need your help. We met at a cafe, and I laid out everything we'd uncovered. She listened intently, whistling low as I finished. This is some serious stuff, Melissa. We're talking harassment, defamation, maybe even destruction of property with the dress incident. What can we do? Well, legally we could pursue charges, but given its family, there might be a better way to handle this, Sarah suggested, her eyes lighting up. And that's when the idea hit me. The annual family reunion was coming up in just 2 weeks. Everyone would be there. Sarah, what if we exposed them in front of the whole family? I asked. A slow smile spread across Sarah's face. Now that's an idea I can get behind. Let's plan this out. And plan we did. Over the next few days, while helping Allison prepare for prom, we gathered everything we could. Photos, screenshots of texts, even security camera footage showing Barbara and Karen with the destroyed dress. Jack reached out to extended family members, ensuring they'd all be there. Lisa helped us create a slideshow of evidence, and Tom offered his tech skills for the big day. We need to make sure they can't wiggle out of this, I said during one of our planning sessions. Sarah nodded, holding up a statement she'd drafted. I'll make sure we distribute this after the presentation. As the day of the reunion approached, I felt a mix of nervousness and determination. Barbara and Karen had no idea what was coming for them. The night before the reunion, Allison asked, Mom, are you sure about this? It seems intense. I hugged her tight, my voice soft but firm. Sweetie, sometimes you have to stand up to bullies, even when they're family. Especially when they're family. Jack added, your mom's right, kiddo. What they did to you is not okay, and it's time everyone knew the truth. Allison nodded slowly, her trust in us clear. Okay. I trust you guys. As I laid out my outfit for the reunion, I took a deep breath. Tomorrow, everything would change. Barbara and Karen thought they could manipulate and hurt us without consequences, but they were about to learn just how wrong they were. Ready for tomorrow? Jack asked as he was leaving. I nodded, a determined glint in my eye. More than ready. It's time to end this. Once and for all. The day of the family reunion arrived, and my stomach was in knots. Allison, Jack, and I arrived early to set up our little presentation with Tom's help. As family members trickled in, I saw Barbara and Karen, all smiles and hugs, as if nothing had happened. The sight made my blood boil. Once everyone was there, I stood up, clearing my throat. Everyone, if I could have your attention, please. There's something important we need to discuss. Barbara looked confused. Melissa, dear, what's this about? I took a deep breath. It's about the years of manipulation, lies, and cruelty that you and Karen have inflicted on Allison and our family. The room went dead silent. Tom hit the lights, and our slideshow began. Last week, Barbara and Karen destroyed Allison's prom dress, I said, as the security footage played. Gasps filled the room. We went through incident after incident, the birthday party snubs, the ruined clothes, the vicious rumors. With each revelation, I saw the shock and disgust growing on everyone's faces. Karen jumped up, indignant. This is ridiculous. We've never done anything to hurt Allison. Her protest fell flat as more family members started speaking up. Cousin Rachel chimed in. So that's why you told me Allison couldn't make it to my wedding? You said she was sick? Uncle Steve added, and the time you said Allison was talking bad about my son? That was a lie too? Barbara and Karen's faces were pale, their eyes darting around the room, searching for any allies. They found none. Then Sarah stepped forward, her lawyer mode in full swing. What you've done constitutes harassment, defamation, not to mention the destruction of property with the dress incident. We have grounds for legal action. Barbara scoffed, trying to stand her ground. You wouldn't dare. We're family. I locked eyes with her, my voice unwavering. Family doesn't do what you've done. You've left us no choice. The fallout was immediate. Other family members started sharing their own stories of Barbara and Karen's manipulations. It was like a dam had broken. In the end, we didn't even need to press charges. The family decided on their own to cut Barbara and Karen out. No more invitations. No more contact. Allison's prom night was a triumph in her new dress, one even more beautiful than the first. She was radiant. Mom, she said as she was leaving. Thank you for everything. I hugged her tight, fighting back tears. Always, sweetie. I'll always have your back. Later that night, as I reflected on everything that had happened, I realized something important. Standing up to toxic people, even family, isn't easy, but it's necessary. Necessary for ourselves. Necessary for the people we love. And that's the end of Melissa and Allison's story. Now, I've got a question for you. Was Melissa justified in exposing Barbara and Karen's behavior to the entire family? Or should she have handled the situation more privately? Is public confrontation ever the right approach when dealing with toxic family members? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective could help others facing similar family conflicts. If this story resonated with you and you want to hear more like it, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more of these real-life dramas to light. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.